have always let me know that I'm okay in my tower of song as I weave the ebb and flow. I close my eyes and let my pulse beat a chorus to your choir. The lover's symphony waltzes on as we dance to the end of desire.
Rather special about it, doesn't it? That's a unique musical collaboration between musician Martin O'Hara and poet Anne Gaffney, which we're going to be talking about right now. Incanted Song is the name of the CD, which was launched in Athlone only last week, and I'm delighted to have the two creative forces behind it sitting in front of me in the arts show dungeon. Martin O'Hara and Anne Gaffney, welcome.
Hello,
Thank
how are you
you.
doing?
Now, your poetry, Anne, set to your music, Martin.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about how all this started to come about.
Well, it started one night.
Right.
Not too much detail now.
No, one night in Flannery's.
Was there drink taken?
There was just a little bit of salad in a glass.
Oh, yeah, well, hey, you know.
Yeah, I had been writing for a few years, just for my own entertainment.
Writing poetry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bits and bobs over the years. And I met Martin one night in Flannery's, and we were talking, we struck up a conversation about what, was I a singer, was I a writer, whatever it was. And I told him, the first person on the planet I ever told, that I wrote poetry.
Right. So was this kind of a big moment?
It was a big moment for me. It was not for him, I don't think, but a big moment for me.
Oh, you can't
certainly
swing a cat in Flannery's without hitting at least 6 poets. So I mean, it's
God.
not a. Oh yeah, another poet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, big deal for me.
Yeah.
But I was playing in Flannery's because I play a blues session every Monday night there, so that's why I'm
That's
talking
Yeah.
what
to you.
A Manhattan in them.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And so we just sort of got a conversation going about music and poetry, and we decided we'd meet up and see if we had anything to work with.
Lovely.
Which we did the following week.
Well, it was
I think.
your idea. You wanted to put some music
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
some of your poems and see
Yeah.
what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Now you're a therapist, Anne.
I am, yeah. I am. I'm a psychotherapist. Yeah.
So it's fair to say that quite a lot of this poetry is possibly coming out of the wellspring of that, is it?
It is in some ways, but it's mostly my own stuff, It's mostly about my own life. It's about everything and anything, but of course, through my work, I hit on a lot of life issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that would be part and parcel of the inspiration, and the fantastic people that I work with.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
they're very inspiring.
So is it very serious? Is it?
No, I don't think it is it?
Yeah.
Some of it could be serious.
Yeah.
It addresses serious issues, I suppose.
It
people's
does.
lives.
People's lives, yeah. It's across the board. I mean, the inspiration is about love and life, really. It's about practical things. It's about a raindrop on a window pane. From that to sensuality. So, the whole way across the board.
Yeah, well, when I first heard Anne reciting her poems to me, it struck me that the poems are very straightforward, They're easy to understand. But they're kind of, they're poetic too, so that's what attracted me to do the music,
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about that. What made you decide, okay, I want to set these to music?
Well, I had to meet Anne and I had to hear her. I had to hear what her poems were like, and I had to hear her speaking.
Yeah.
If her voice was terrible, you couldn't. There's no way you could dress it up with nice music. So, but
nowadays, record companies say they can do anything.
So anyway, once I heard her voice, I thought it would work, and she was kind of reading her poems to me, and it sounded professional. And she was very nervous, and she thought the poems were terrible. But I said, no, it's very good. We'll go ahead and try a few and see what it sounds like.
Right. So at this point, were you, oh no, this is like a vampire movie. It's, he tells me my poems are brilliant. And
No. The whole way, the day that I was going to meet Martin, I got into the car and I was in a traffic jam along the accommodation road. And the whole way along the accommodation road, I was talking myself out of it.
Yeah.
And I said, oh no, they're no good and they're very amateur and they're this and they're that and we'll just have lunch and I'll forget about it. And I had myself convinced, and I got there first. And I was still convinced. And then I saw Martin walking in and I thought, oh, God, what do I want here? And so we had lunch and we talked. I talked. He listened. I don't think he got a word in edgeways. I
No.
think he got my whole life story in about 20 minutes, like blah, 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 you know. And we'll have lunch and then we'll have a glass of wine. And we'll have another glass of wine. And he
Yeah.
kept saying, well, maybe you just need to read one. You know? I think,
Stop talking and just
stop
tell me.
talking
Yeah.
and read. But he
What
was
does it sound
extraordinarily kind.
Well, that
You
wasn't,
were.
you know, just honest.
And then I read one or two to him,
Yeah.
and it was like I read them at the speed of light. I might add,
Yeah.
you know, it was
Right.
really. But I didn't realise I was being tested from my voice as well. You know, it
Right.
wasn't just the poetry.
Right.
Well, I'm no expert, but I know if it had sounded terrible, I
Yeah.
would known I'd told you and I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
Yeah. And the Encanted song, is there a particular message in the title or significance in the title?
Well, I think really that's just that poetry can be like an incantation. You know, it's just. And then because of the music, we were kind of marrying the speaking and the music.
So,
So
did
we
you
thought-
feel you were kind of incanting primal forces, or?
Well, it's very simple. As you'll see with the poetry, it does what it says on the tin.
right. Okay.
you know, it's
Ron
very-
Seal poetry.
It's Ron Seal poetry.
No, I was quickly looking at this. A poem called Inside Out is
Yeah.
inspired by David Brown and his theories on transforming the power of intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
His cutting-edge work kickstarted my creativity and this whole idea.
Mm.
So without being too graphic, tell us, how do you transform the power of intimacy? Yeah.
Well, actually, it was a workshop I did down in Cork, and run by a guy called David Brown from ICASA in the UK, and it's an organisation. It's a therapeutic organisation that deals with sexual dysfunction, and so what they do is they work with intimacy all the way along in a 10-step program. And
Yeah.
David came over to do a couple of workshops, and as a therapist, I went down to participate in those just to see, and I was just blew my mind completely.
Right.
The whole concept that he had. So it was working with actually inside out, working from the inside out,
Okay.
transforming intimacy. The intimacy starts with yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know, that whole idea? And that kind of kick-started the writing at the time. I had been writing for years on and off, little bits here and there, but that particular workshop started something. It just opened up something in me.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that was where it started.
Okay, and that puts you on the road to Martin. Martin,
Yeah.
can we talk about your musical background for a bit? You play in the blues on.
Yeah.
Are you mainly a blues musician, or is it all different kinds of things?
All different kinds of things. I have done an awful lot of soundtrack work for television, so I'm used to watching images and listening to dialogue and just coming up with ideas.
Would we have seen or heard a soundtrack to which you had?
I've done a lot of stuff on T.G. Cahir, mainly their comedy series like See You Burn, and I think what FFC, I think it's called, which still runs all the time, and a long-running series in UTV called McGilloway's Way,
Right.
which was a precursor to, I think, Lesser Spotted Ulster. So
Right.
I've done that for 4 or 5 years, which is all just an acoustic guitar, just kind of bucolic music.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so-
So you alternate between the bucolic, the folk, and kind of.
Yeah, I
blues
play
or-
in a soul band in Donegal with a great singer-songwriter called Tanya McCall, soul and blues,
Yeah.
And I just drifted into playing sort of country blues session in Flannery's here, playing jazz bands occasionally and stuff like that. So
Okay.
And,
okay.
run a small recording studio and travel around and record people.
Right, right. And when it came to recording Anne's poetry with your music, did you think, okay, this needs to be in a particular style of music, or do you apply different ones?
What I did, I went over to Anne's house so she'd be comfortable there, and stuck a microphone in front of her, recorded maybe 5 or 6 poems, and then just listened, and whichever one just suggested something to me, I would pick up an acoustic guitar or piano and just start playing.
Mm-hmm. So you were kind of very much responding in the moment.
Yeah, just
yeah.
try and grab it down from somewhere and see
Yeah.
if it marries up, and if it does, then go back to that later and augment it,
Yeah.
other instruments.
And
That is-
what point did you get to the point where we want to release a CD?
that kind of just evolved, you know.
Right.
We started. I think we were about a year in, weren't we?
You're doing it for yourself to start
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
you know.
The idea originally was that I just was going to do it for myself, or whatever, you know,
Mm-hmm.
something to leave behind or whatever, I don't know. And then gradually, I think, as the music and sort of the marriage between the music and the poetry happened, we realised it was something special, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and unique. And it just started to evolve then, the idea that we would make the CD and we would do something with it. And it sort of just grew, didn't it? We never actually sat down and had a meeting about it and said, well, let's...
And a couple of your friends asked you to do poems for
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
and for me to do music and as a present, you know,
Mm-hmm.
for people. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a couple of... We got a few commissions, you know. We did a commission for a lady in the States, and...
How does that work?
well, what happens is in that particular scenario, her sister wanted to send her a very personal message.
Okay.
And so her sister contacted me and told me what she wanted to say to her, and I wrote the poem around it. And
Right.
then Martin composed the music, and we put it on a CD, so it was an actual gift.
Oh, that's very
You
special.
know, and so it's very, very special. It's very unique in terms of, it's just from my heart to my head, and Martin's head
it's
and
just
heart.
something we do.
It's
yeah.
just something we
Done-
do.
done it quite a few times.
A couple of times I've had to write wedding speeches for people, but
Yeah.
this is in a
Ooh.
totally different league.
level. yeah, yeah, yeah.
we could take care of that for you. in one
Yeah,
poem.
if I'd met you guys, I could have had it set to poetry and music. It would be
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much better.
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we had that was really it. We did a few commissions, there's some in the UK, and we did a few here.
Right.
And they work really well, and we've had fantastic feedback from them because it is so unique.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know?
absolutely.
It
yeah,
is so unique
yeah.
and very personal.
Yeah,
You know?
which that's yeah, and Martin, you're originally from. I should tell our lady listeners, and our producer particularly is going to be interested in this. He looks every bit as cool as he sounds. Okay, just let that thought float there. You're originally from Scotland. That's where that accent, that incredibly
Yeah.
cool detached accent comes from.
Yeah, I'm from West Lothian, near Edinburgh, a
Mm-hmm.
small village called Winchborough. But I've been in Ireland since I was 19. I'm 52 now, so a long time.
And
over here.
what brought you to Ireland initially?
A Bedford van, which I lived in for 6 months. Now I came over to just to play music and have a bit of fun here, because I was playing in Scottish country dance bands and getting fed up playing gay gardens. So
And Scottish country dance band, is that a special kind of
it's like
country?
a Cayley band.
A
sort of.
Cayley band. Oh yeah, like your man who used to be on the telly like
Jimmy Shand and yeah,
100 years ago.
Andy Stewart.
Andy Stewart, yeah. He used to come on in the kilt.
I was also playing in a punk band at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
I came on holiday to Donegal and discovered that you could work 5 or 6 days a week just with an acoustic guitar and playing music in pubs and make a living. So that's what I did.
Yeah. And to Athlone, you eventually.
Well, that was to Donegal,
Mm-hmm.
and then there for about 20 years, and I've been in Athlone for about 17 years, or near here, just
Right.
called the Crockery. just
Yes,
up the road
I
from
know
me.
it well. Yeah, yeah.
Got to know a lot of musicians. That's it, really.
And unique and different collaborations.
Exactly.
Yeah. Will you do another one? Do you think, Anne?
Oh, we certainly will. I think we have enough material
Yeah.
for 6 CDs.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure
Yeah,
our
we
listeners
will.
are looking forward to hearing a sample of what's on Enchanted Song.
Yeah.
And thanks so much for coming into us, guys. Where can people pick up this CD if they
Well, if you check into our website, and they can get it through the website. Give us an email on the website, and we'll send it out or whatever.
Which is
We haven't.
EncantedSong.com.
Yeah, www.encantedsong.com.
EncantedSong.com.
Yeah. And also, if anyone wants to commission a poem, you can do it there.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. So and all subjects considered. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ode to My Dead Hamster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Or the love of my life, or the person I hate the most in the world, or whatever it
Something
is.
especially for divorce would be quite good.
I think I'd be taking up all your time for the next 6 months. Martin O'Hara and Anne Gaffney, thanks so much for being with us. in
Thank you
studio
very
this
much.
evening.
Thank you.
The sun is hot, the house is still, I'm lounging on the deck, catching rays in a dozy haze, with a cool one by the neck. White fluffy clouds scud overhead, dancing in the breeze.